Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. We're very excited to finally have in stock and available the new book, America's Rifle. This basically is an updated version of my original title, Black Rifle 2, which was done with Collector Grade Publication as part 2 of the Black Rifle series, Black Rifle 1, Black Rifle 2. A little over a year ago, we were able to get the license back for this book, and we wanted to print it on our own. We started up Small Arms Publishing, and it took a while to get that going, and then to order the books. Now, ordering the books was also during COVID, where we had a lot of setbacks. We had issues with paper shortages. We had other delays with getting in line to have the books printed. It was not until January of this year where we were actually able to get the books printed and delivered. We have unsigned copies, and we have limited numbers of signed copies available right now. Now, there's a big difference between these two books as far as quality is concerned, and that's one of the things that really, really made me happy. We use the exact same publisher the Collector Grade Publications did. We did not want to skimp anything. We didn't want to send anything overseas to China or anywhere else. We wanted them to be made by the exact same people, and so we did. Well, there was a setback and a benefit that came out of it. The paper that was used that they had available was a higher grade paper than what they originally was used by a Collector Grade Publication. So that it increased the cost of the book, but once we saw the quality of the book, it was superior in quality. The quality of the photographs, the quality of the paper. The book is definitely an improvement over the original book. So I was really happy to see that. This book goes from 1985 to 2004, the days of the global war on terror, end of the Cold War, and it brings you up to that time period. The book starts with the M16A2. Original Black Rifle left off at just the early developments of the M16A2. So when I started this book, I got into very deep the M16A2, and that led into the ACR program and eventually the M4 program, which was the biggest program that was covered in this book. Was the introduction and the development of the M4 into the M4A1, the SOCOM variants, and then other programs that were military contracts, such as the Colt light machine gun, the Colt submachine gun, the reintroduction of the reintroduction of the AR-10 by Gene Stoner with the SR-25, and then Mark Western bringing in Armalite back, and the 7.62 versions, and then going into the Colt versions of the AR-15 going right through 2004, looking at the Colt AR-15 series, AR-15A2 series, Sporter, and Match Target. Of course, a lot happened after 2005. That's when you had more of the more modern stuff, but we take you through 2004. And really what the book does is it's a testament to Colt's development of it. We also had in there Dymaco. That was the first time anybody who ever heard of Dymaco at Colt Canada now. And it goes into the development of the C7, C8 programs right up through the L119A1 that was used by the SAS. And we also have parts compendiums in there, which up to 2004 had forging codes, barrel codes, different types of hammers, triggers, disconnectors, selectors, serial numbers. And it talked about a lot about codes for both NATO countries. So you would have British codes, American codes, Canadian codes, so you could decipher some of those. And some of the force multipliers, the introduction of the M4 RAS, for instance, the M5 RAS system, the arm surge systems. We talk about the early, because that was right at the early development of the 6.8 SPC. So at the time this came out, 2004, was right when the prototype, so the 6.8 SPC coming in, so we do cover that. And we also cover for the first time ever the LMT MRP. Because at the time that this book came out in 2004, that was just getting ready to hit the market. It wasn't released yet for public sales, but it was just getting there. And I had the opportunity to meet Carl Lewis and to have some time to test that for him and give him my feedback on it. So there's a lot of information in these pages, a lot of experience. This information was all firsthand. The development of it came directly from the engineers who did it. For instance, the development of the M4, we talked to the actual engineers who developed the parts, the M16A2s. We had all their engineers, Hank Tatro, Mac McCone. We had Jim Taylor, we had Kevin Kaminsky, we had all the guys who actually did the work and whose names are on the patents, so we can find out why they did, what the requirements were. We do have a lot of the military stuff in there too, what the military requirements were and how it was done. So this book is very technical in nature, and it talks about the details of how these guns work. The original Black Rifle was a lot into the history, which of course this book is too, but this also gets more into the development of how things were changed, why they were changed, what makes, for instance, the M4 different from an M16A2, why is an M4 not an M16? We show all the changes that were made by Colt, which made it a new weapon, new family of its own. And again, stuff like the 9mm program, the LMG program, even the Colt Mars program, which some of the things that weren't even successful, but were still significant. This is a first edition copy, so it's a limited number of first edition copies. It'll make a great addition to your bookshelf and to your collection of firearms information. It's a complete new about the author section. Quite a bit's changed since 2004 for as far as my background is concerned and things that I had done. So we wanted to update that with my more current experience. It's available to purchase on our website, smallarmsolutions.com. The link will be in the description box. I thank you all for your support. This book truly was a labor of love, and we're glad we're able to bring this back to print because this rifle is more significant and more popular now than it was at its first printing. There's still just as much interest, if not significantly more than it was when the book was originally went into print.